Hello, this is Death, and welcome to AutoCraft. Turns out that I've been away for a super long time, but now we're back. While I've been away, I've been doing a bit of thinking. I think it's time we rework some of the starter town. This is because the starter town is covered in moss, just like it is here in the shopping district. And I need to be honest with these. I don't like moss. I really don't. Not anymore. It's a nice block, but we need to remove it. I'm not the only one that feels like this, a few other server members feel the same, so let's head on home because I have a little meeting scheduled with Rustic. Ah, nice door.
Thanks, it's yours.
Oh, did you just... You know what? It's fine, take a seat. That's not... I mean, yeah, that... Anyways, so... I don't mean to be that guy. But
yes.
If you look out the window, what do you see?
I see a lot of moss.
Yeah, I don't like it. And I know you don't like it either.
I hate it. I have grown a very nice distaste for it.
And not only that, I also know that many other people do not like it. So I think now is the time, 6 months into the season, to overhaul the starter town.
Yeah, I have to agree. I hate the way it looks right now. It is not great. Everything is absolutely awful.
Yeah, things need to change. Fast.
They do.
I don't want to say bomb the area out because that's just wrong. It just needs to be reworked.
I very much agree with this. Now, are we just going to pretend like we didn't plan this out multiple weeks back and already have a design?
Oh yeah, totally, yeah, we totally don't already know what we're doing.
Exactly. So I suppose that doesn't mean that we're just instantly going to go into a long line of time lapses that are going to be taking like the next 2 weeks of our lives.
Yeah, we totally wouldn't do that. I mean, it's not as if we do these mega projects a lot.
No, not at all.
So why don't we get started? Because this is going to take a while. And there we go, the starter town overhaul has been completed. This project was several weeks in the making, in fact we finished this several weeks ago. And yeah, it looks really amazing, so let's go through the starter town and see everything that we did. So to get started, we're going to start over here in the shopping district because we connected a path from this side of the starter town over here. Now the first thing you'll notice is it isn't square with this path. If we wanted it to line up, we should have ended the path here, but we're going to be overhauling the shopping district at some point in the near future. I don't know when, it's just going to happen at some point. So that'll be where we are starting that overhaul. But if we just follow this path, it will lead us into the starter town. So before we get in, we've got two branching paths, one that leads up to the actual centre of the starter town, and one that leads into my area. You can identify my area by these trees, because what we did was, in a creative world, we designed a few different tree types, which you'll see dotted around the starter town, and then we built them in here and then changed them up a little bit to make them more unique. We've also lit up all of the pathways using these lanterns, and with the new light mechanics that are featured in 1.18, well, let's just say they do a pretty good job. We don't really had to use any torches in this area. There's a few torches here and there, but you know what? I'm happy with the way this has came out. So let's just head on up here, follow the path. It is a bit steep there, and what I've done in my area is we had a lot of flat areas. Now I had thought, why don't we do some crop farms, because obviously we had a small crop farm over here, so I decided let's expand them all over the place. So we've got potatoes, we have a wheat field over there. Over here we have an area for mobs, as in like passive mobs like cows, sheep, chickens, that sort of stuff, because you never know. And in here we have beetroot, which I never actually used any of that, by the way. Got a path leading into the hobbit hole itself. It was straight before, but I decided that was a little bit too artificial. So we had it coming off at a diagonal and I put a tree in front, and made sure lines of sight were visible and stuff like that. I also used these fields to kind of frame in the area a little bit because it was really open before. Obviously we've got Asta's house here, and we had my house, and then we had all the moss and stuff. Everything was very flat, so we make use of these fields. We have these deep slate walls all over the place, which are made using different types of deep slate, and it just helps break up the area. Plus, you know, we've got the trees and stuff, which helps break up lines of sight. Now before we move on, I'd like to quickly head into the hobbit hole real quick. As you can see, we have a bit of a chicken problem, but if I just pop on round here, yeah, look at that. The lines of sight have been broken up a little bit by the walls and by the trees. Heading out again and working our way over, we actually built up a bit of a hill in between my area and the rest of Startertown. This is because we didn't want a path going over the top because it looked kind of weird. So we terraformed up this hill, and then we decided to dig a tunnel below, and if we just follow this tunnel, which is all my own design by the way, and we walk on through here, that chunk there always glitches out and I don't know why. We come up in the centre of the Startertown, right next to Greeny's house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here because we were just here a few moments ago. This is where the other path leads, and you come up here behind Rustic's house here. You have an option to go down here towards the, the shopping district, and also to lead over there, but we're covering that in just a moment. The other path leads you into the centre of the Startertown. We've got Boss's gazebo thing here. Path goes over here, we've got Rustic's house, we've got a few other extra trees that were done by Rustic and Alpen. Alpen helped out a lot with this project, so the Rustic, this couldn't have been done without them. If you remember last time we were over here, this area was a mess. It was just covered in moss, there was a nether portal, and it didn't look all that good, so we decided to put in a lake feature. So Rustic did that. He made these like custom lily pads with spore blossoms. You should check out his video to see all that stuff being done. And we had an enchanting area up behind Greeny's house, and we decided to move it, but we wanted to keep it in the Startertown. So that's where this area here is. So you can take the path down there, over this little footbridge, and then up here to do your enchanting. The footbridge also leads into Alex's hobbit hole. The water from the lake, we wanted it to go somewhere, because this is meant to act as a natural source of water, say like a water spring or something like that. So we'll have a few waterfalls going down into a river, which leads over into the ocean. Now back over at Rustic's house here, if we take this path right down here, it leads over to the mine. If you remember before, this area was also a bit of a mess. We had lots of different builds, just some debris, stuff like that all over the place. Asta's starter area was still here, so we took all that stuff down, we put it in a chest in Asta's house, and we did a bunch of terraforming stuff. But now we've got an easy way to access this area. We had initially did some thinking on doing the path over this way as well, but we wanted the people walking about to be forced to kind of use the path networks. Obviously people don't need to do that. We also made sure to preserve this statue thing. Back up here where the tunnel leads out into the starter house, we're going to take the path up here by Greeny's area. The path before was really straight here on the hill, just didn't look good whatsoever, so we actually brought the hill back by like 4 or 5 blocks. We terraformed it, smoothed it out, and then we brought the path down, not straight but in a diagonal. That allowed us to put in, say, like a big custom tree here, and that would connect up to this path network, which is a little bit more chaotic. So we've got the path leading in front of Mechanic's starter house here. Over this way, we've got the path leading up towards Clumsy's starter house and to Alpen's starter house, which she just built. This thing looks really nice. You should check out her Twitch streams and all that stuff. We also have a path leading over here, which can eventually lead into Splash's starter build. So Splash, design a front door, and we can connect you up. Now going back over here, there's a few other ways you can go. So following this path up here, you can go to Lady's little castle, or you can take the path up here, which will lead to Zame's starter house. This area was a bit weird. We didn't know what to put in here because obviously we're still recruiting. Application in the description, by the way, but we didn't want new members coming in and building here. So we decided to do some decorative bits with some wheat fields and with a little vineyard made out of using these sweet berry bushes and stuff, and I'm really happy with this project. And there we have it. That's everything we did in the Startertown. Make sure you go and check out both Alpen and Rustic's perspectives on this, because this was a group effort, and I'd like to thank all of the other members of AutoCraft for providing resources and giving us some really good feedback. Now, since I've been away for as long, I haven't actually done anything with my shops, so let's go and see how many diamonds we've got in that time. Okay, so coming away from these shops, we have over a stack of diamonds, which is pretty good. I know for a fact we have more diamonds. So if we just head on home real quick, we have this chest, which has lots of diamonds in it. It also has a book from the mechanic. Diamonds are out for the magma shop. Yeah, this has been here for a while. I'll clean this up later on. Yeah, it's been here for a long time. I just haven't been on the server in a while, so yeah, also let me check my mailbox, nothing there. I need to get some white dye for that. But yeah, that leaves us with a stack and a half of diamonds. Okay, so let's add these diamonds to our current supply. You know what? That's not bad. I'm rich. So I had planned on doing more stuff for this episode, but obviously that's not going to happen. And this is because, as always, the project I also wanted to do in this episode was far too big, so that's going to be kept for a future episode, which I've already recorded. Meaning that my next episode will be coming out very soon, so we won't have a massive break like we did before. But you know, after doing this Starter Town project, I am feeling so inspired right now. Like, this thing needed to happen. It's just completely... I don't have the words for it. This area just looks fantastic, and I just want to do this type of project more often. So that's why we're going to be overhauling the shopping district at some point fairly soon. We're going to wait for more shops to appear, which I do have quite a few planned. So we're going to be doing those in the next few episodes. But yeah, no, let me know what sort of stuff you'd like to see. I'm probably going to do some trees. I'm going to remove some of the straight paths to make them more diagonal and organic like these ones. And yeah, we will see what happens. Now real quick before we end, I'd like to welcome Hostage Panda to the server. He is our newest member. I've left a link to his channel down in the description along with all the other members, so make sure you go and check them out. Also just a reminder, applications for AutoCraft are still open. They're only going to be open for about another month and a half before we close them for the season. So if you're interested in joining the server, go and check it out. Link to that in the description as well. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, why don't you leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. And hey, why don't you check out this video?